What's up, y'all? It's your man, ES the Hermit Star, back again with another video. I was about to say pretty, a pretty lengthy one. Because, well, I originally intended this video to be a live stream, but the way my week is set up this week, I won't have time to record. I won't have time to do a live stream. By the time, like, this is the time per se that I have to do my tarot channel, to even do stuff outside of my tarot channel. This is the time that I have, literally this afternoon, this Tuesday afternoon. But I wanted to do the reads for every sign, for the full moon of Capricorn, and that's on the 10th actually. But I'm going to be busy on the 10th. I'm telling you, it's work and travel this entire week that has me booked up, booked and busy, as the girlies say, right? Some can say that's a good problem to have. I'm not complaining. I'm just telling you what the real is. So with that being said, I decided to do something different. I didn't want to skip another moon, phase, or any more important just events happening within tarot, within the universe, really. I didn't want to continue skipping these events because I've been busy. The 4th of July, something occurred, and I was busy, obviously, with family and things of that nature. But I wanted to do something then in relation to reads here. So instead of me, forcing myself to, and there are going to be times where I do choose this before other things, but like I said, it's work related, it's other stuff that is going to take precedent over this and other aspects, or other things that I do, because gotta sustain myself, right? It's how I make my money. So, like, with that being said, if this is something you would like for me to do full time, support. You know what I'm saying? Support, support, support. But I'm here to and continue giving your support if that is what you're doing. I appreciate that. But again, this is going to be pre-recorded. I am going to do every single sign, and I will have the timestamps and the pinned comment. The pinned comment would be the time stamps for every sign. It's pretty much what I'm doing, what I've done in the past with every new full moon, or most, I won't say every, but full moon or new moon phase. I would do the reads for all of the signs. This is no different. The only difference really is it's not live per se. But again, I will do every sign, and I will have the timestamp in the description box below. Well, not in the description box, but in the pinned comment below. Check the description if you want to book a personal read, all that good stuff. But pin comment will be the timestamp. Watch for your sun, moon, rising. Watch the entire thing, whatever you feel compelled to watch, as long as you choose to watch. And then, of course, hit that like. All that is greatly appreciated. So, as I stated for like the 500th time already, full moon in Capricorn. What this pretty much is symbolic of for all of the signs, or what the full moon in Capricorn is symbolic of in general, is taking control of your life and making sure that you're being responsible for creating the life that you want. Okay. Taking care of responsibilities in general. Capricorns are a very responsible people, a very responsible sign. Like Virgos, can be very rigid, both earth signs. So it's like very, very much in the very, I guess one could say, again, rigid, or just in the vein of order, pretty much having things in order, having things together, right? And one, again, taking care of responsibilities is something that can be pretty much, what note is that? I'm sorry, y'all. Just like with the lives, I'm getting easily distracted. um Yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyways, nothing too important. But again, this is pretty much symbolic of figuring out whether you are a Capricorn or not, figuring out where in your life do you need to take control. You know, where are you wanting more responsibilities in? And even if it's a situation where you are, because the shadow side of Capricorns can be too much of a, how can I say this? Not too much of a hard worker, but someone who feels responsible too much for everybody's success, not just their success, but everybody's success as well. Now, I'm not saying if this is the time to be selfish or Capricorns need to be more selfish or it's a bad thing to be selfless and want to make sure everybody is good, this, that, and the third. No, what I am saying though is that you can burn yourself out. You can spread yourself thin by trying to make sure everybody around you is good. And, if you want to be, if that's just the type of individual you are, Capricorn or not, it's best to serve you first. It's like with the analogy of putting on the oxygen mask on the airplane, if you've ever been on the airplane or you've watched movies or whatever. But nah, they make the announcements of like you put your oxygen mask on first, whoever's on the side of where the mask falls, right? You put it on first before you save your neighbor because you have to have said energy, to put it on. All that precious those seconds it takes for you to huff in that air, um, it's a lot. It might be a few seconds to you, but it's a lot. So with that being said, you might be someone like a Capricorn or whatever, and you're like, I'm not really, I don't view all these responsibilities as, too much or whatever the case is, right? Yeah, because you're so used to it. You're so used to doing something that's something that probably gives you life, gives you joy, so it doesn't feel tiring. But everything that gives us joy in life, whether you enjoy doing something or not, can cause burnout. I love doing this for y'all. I get burned out. I love writing. I get burned out from writing. I love working out. If I do it too much, I get burned out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like all a bunch of things that I love doing, you know, can still cause burnout. And the same goes for you, whether you are a giver or not. So just had to make that clear. We'll start off with Aries. Again, we're going in order from the first sign all the way to the 12th sign. Okay. Pin comment, timestamps. So there's really no need for you to trip out about the length of the video, this, that, and the third. Go watch wherever your sign is or whoever sign you want to watch for if you're not watching the entire thing. If you are, though, love and appreciate you. But anyways, we're gonna start off with Aries, and like I said, we're getting into the tarot first, and then oh yeah, the usual the oracle cards here. So we'll see what other message or messages the universe has for you during this time here. And yeah, this is going to be uploaded on the 10th. I'm gonna have it all pre-saved and everything. So yeah. Anyways, we have at least three cards, and that's what it is going to be. So we start off with the King of Pentacles in reverse. Uh this is financial problems as well, like someone not being financially literate. But it's financial illiteracy in the form of someone who can be shallow. So it could be a situation to where you're very uh you're not as responsible with your money. I'm not laughing at you and stuff, but you're not as responsible with your money as you should be. I mean, it does seem like there's a quick turnaround here at the because you go from the King of Pentacles to the Knight of Pentacles. Now, one could say, going from a king to a knight sounds like a demotion of some sort, right? And it could be a situation to where you're at a job, right? This could be very much symbolic of you being at a position to where you were. like in a kingly position, right? Uh, but the position was just a title. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you probably weren't making as much money as possible as you probably feel as though you deserve, and as I believe you deserve as well. And you know, you maybe have probably left a job of some sort, and whatever your new position is at this new job, or even if it's at the same job but a lesser position, the finances is better. It seems like you feel like if the finances isn't the thing that was the deciding factor for you to demote yourself, right? It was how reliable the job is, how practical it may be. These are the meanings of this card as well. And I think that's a dope decision to make, because we always are pressured by family members or friends or peers, whatever, to I won't say always, but I can say that I've been pressured by family members and peers again to stay in certain positions or stay at certain jobs or whatever, because of the title, because of whatever, because other people that I know work there, and it's like, well, if you go somewhere else, you don't know the people there, and you might as well stay here because you know them. Some things of that nature. And it wasn't like a situation where it's like, yeah, I know the people that work there, but they're not in charge to make things like better for me. So we're all in the same boat. I'm just deciding to jump out of this boat that they have decided to stay on, or if they did decide to stay on, because the job I'm talking about, the other two people that, I knew a bunch of people there, and, or still know a bunch of people there, and about half of the people jumped off the boat after I did. But anyways, we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about you. But it seems as though, at least with these two cards, I am liking this energy that, it seems like you're one following what you feel is right. So you're not necessarily just going to stick to a job or stick to something. And I'm saying that because it just feels like that's the case. Um, I just got off the phone with this person, like, I don't know, let's just say an hour ago. Why they hit me up now? Anyways, um, yeah, so it's like it does seem as though you're following your own path, which is great. Your last card is the Two of Wands. This is also why I was saying, like, hey, I actually do like what's going on here with you, Aries, right now. You're really tapping into that Capricorn energy of just you are taking responsibility. Despite what others might say, they might say things like you're being irresponsible, you're not making a wise choice, or whatever the case is. I gotta, my little moisturized hands almost dropping my case, but I'm trying to wipe down my glasses and everything. But yeah, anyways, like you are, despite what people might be saying, Aries, because I feel like you're gonna run into people, or you have people, probably even people online. Maybe you share, like, maybe you all up in the Reddit threads, right? And you share your experience. You're just venting on Reddit, and you're telling folk like, hey, I left this position because it's a high position name. I mean, I guess as it sounds like it's a big deal, but it's really not a big deal. You know what I'm saying? And then you got people in the thread telling you how dumb you are, and how calling you shallow. The irony, right? They heard the position name, right? They don't even know about the position, and even if they do, they're calling you shallow because you decided that you want more than just a fancy name with whatever job position you have. Whereas they heard the title and they're like, "Oh, that's fancy. That's a good thing," without knowing anything other than that. What they did was the definition of what a shallow person would do. But as far as you, again, you're moving forward. You're moving forward. You're following your path, and this is risk taking. Exploring the unknown, but doing that and following your path and what's right with you, is that's good. I think that's a great sign. So yeah, that's what I have for you, Aries. The thing about recording on Zoom is it shows the record that it's recording, but it doesn't show like a timestamp. So now I'm gonna have to edit this and put in the timestamps manually. Ugh. Anyways, oh, I didn't even get your Oracle cards. That's crazy. I put your tarot cards away. Here I am rushing. I still got about 4 hours of freedom. So we're about to get into the Oracle. My bad, my bad, my bad. Or Oracle cards. This one jumped out already. And your card is take great care. Okay. Nurture yourself. Prioritize well-being and tread gently on your journey ahead. So yeah, like this perfect card, for what we just witnessed with your tarot. Take care of yourself. Do you? You know what I'm saying? Do you? This is definitely the energy for it. This is the time for it. Do you? So this is great to see that one of the confirmations that the universe has for you is to just do what you feel is right. Don't care about the noise outside or whatever, right? Do what you feel is right. All right. Um, but yeah, that's what I have for you today, Aries. Appreciate you for watching. Again, I will have timestamps already updated and everything. I'm working like crazy, but hey, next time we have Gemini. So if you got Gemini on your chart, Sun, Moon, or Rising, this is for you. What's going on, princesses? Yeah. So we'll see what the universe has in store for you as far as what other message it does the universe want to let you know, your spirit team, your guides want to let you know at this time during the Capricorn full moon. At least one more card, but you know best. All right, we did get one more card. So we start off with the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. It does seem like a lot of, like, I guess, shallowness is happening right now, um, or superficiality. That's what one of the meanings of this card is: be superficial, to overspend. Um, it seems, at least, your message is kinda on the realm of what Aries just got. You might have Aries in your chart, but it does seem a bit similar to where the message is get your own, like, follow your own path. Um because we got the devil, as your next card, and unfortunately it's upright. They all covered? Yeah, they all covered. So this is, someone who is controlled by something or someone that doesn't have their best interests at heart. Well, things can't don't have interests, but it could be like an addiction to something that isn't good for you. Or it could be control or addiction to someone who isn't good for you. This is also, I'm looking at this, and I'm also looking at, again, the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, and all I can think about is materialism. Maybe it's a mindset. It's a materialistic mindset that you're having right now that the universe is saying you need to take control of. Because it seems as though I get the feeling, Gemini, that you are like a very original sign, and I feel like you're not being who you truly are. You're following everybody else's idea of what it means to be maybe luxurious, what it means to be whatever, right? And it's not looking good for you, as far as just, again, having that type of energy control you. And you just need to follow your own path, do your own damn thing. Oh, already getting tired. That sucks. But nah, your last card is the Six of Swords. So this is good to see. Moving forward, adapting, going toward a rite of passage. And like I said, it's great to see that. And this is the card. That and that Nine of Pentacles in reverse reminded me of what we just witnessed, or what I just witnessed. I don't know if you fast forward or not, but what I just did with the Aries reading. It seems as though that things do start off, or at least look like energy wise, it's a bit rocky. But as long as you continue to follow your path and do what you want to do, um, and when I say do what you want to do, follow your path, I'm saying like whatever you feel is a calling to you, like you would know. This is not a question you can ask me. Now if you wanted to add book a personal and ask a question like how do I know when this that like questions of that nature. First of all, those are more so like I wouldn't even consider those tarot questions. That's more so like free advice questions if you just wanted to reach out and talk to somebody. You know, I'm open to that as well. I don't charge for anything of that. I charge for personal reads. I don't charge for conversations. You know what I'm saying? You want someone to talk to, you know what I'm saying, and you trust my word, feel free to reach out as well. Um, but yeah, it does seem like as far as the energy goes, before I get into the oracle, as far as the energy goes for you, Gemini, um, you just need to get away. You need to get away from all this materialism here. You just need to get away from that, get away from it, and you're going to be able to find who you truly are. For a Gemini out there who might be lost in the sauce right now, lost in, the voices and everybody else telling them what they need to do or how they should be, right? So that's what we have for the tarot quick one there. We're about to get into the oracle right now. We'll see what card or cards, because two come out. All right. So the first one that came out was Roots of Stability. Ground yourself in what nurtures your being. Establish a stable base from which love and career can bloom. Yeah, this is very much reminding me of what I just read for Aries. You know what I'm saying? I really think that this might be a Gemini Aries, thing going on. You two are connected, definitely at this time right now. You know, your second card is Peaks Reached. So celebrate your achievements and savor the triumph of your accent. For you've climbed high and earned your view. So really don't be listening to everybody. Like I feel like, again, you've done right, you're on the right path, you're continuing to do what feels right to you. And you got people in your ear. I feel like it's a Gemini with people in their ear trying to sway them in a different direction. Man, fuck it. Get out of here. Get out of here. And if they got a problem with it, tell them to come holler at me. All right? That's what I got for you all, Gemini. Once again, I'll have the times up there as far as um timestamps and everything. I keep saying that like y'all probably haven't figured that out already. So let me not stop. Well, let me stop. Not let me stop. Not continue. All right, Jesus. And I skipped. First of all, oof, oof. I'm sorry, Taurus. You were supposed to be that, not Gemini. We still all right. So we're just doing a remix. All right. So it's Taurus now. It's Taurus. All right. My moon babies, what's happening? All right, now y'all my moon babies because y'all my moon sign. I know you're not ruled by the moon. I don't want to hear people me. Shut it. All right, another three-card read. Universe being good to me. I say that now, watching next one be like 19 cards. But anyways, Taurus, if you got Taurus in your chart, sun, moon, or rising, this is for you. We start off with the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. This is debt, financial conflict. I might want to pull more cards for you because the rest of these cards here, I ain't gonna front. They're not the most ideal Taurus. I don't think you would want to be in this energy. But I also think that, and I love y'all, but I think the reason why you find yourself not just in this energy, but for the other cards that I have here, and I'll get to them, is because Tauruses love to savor the good times, right? They can be too much into savoring and being in good times, though, where they disregard responsibilities. And I feel as though you're in this situation here, at least with what we see here. Let's I'm gonna shuffle shuffle and see what else, just cause. What else do you want to let Taurus know? At least one more card. None jumping out. All right, so I'm gonna shuffle three, two. These kind of wanted to jump out. That's weird. I've got my finger on them, but not. So you got a full six card spread, and yeah. All right, so we'll get to all your cards, Taurus. Might as well make it a long one since I accidentally skipped you, right? Um, but as I was saying, I feel as though that you're too much into the good time and you're not really being based in reality right now. Reality is, Taurus, there's a lot going on around you right now. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of loss I'm seeing. A lot of separation. Now you could flip this energy depending on your actions and all of that, of course. But I am seeing a lot of just conflict with others, some loss, and I feel like you're doing so. Something happened to where it puts you in this mood of escapism now. And now because you're in this escapism mode, you kind of just decided that you was done with reality. You didn't want to know the truth about why that person left you or why this situation happened. You're just in go fun mode, right? But the world reality doesn't stop because you don't want to accept it. Things do not just change for the better because you want them to and you don't take action to make those things better. Yeah, it might be unfortunate to where whatever happened to you, it's unfortunate that whatever happened to you led you to a situation to where you feel like you need to be in party mode, or escapism, as I was saying, escape mode. But that's life. That's life. You're not going to, all the fantasies that you have. Sorry. And I'm not trying to be mean, but they're not going to be fulfilled. Like, stop viewing life as a Disney movie that everything is going to work out the way that the movie was scripted to be. Disney movies aren't real. They're not real. They are not real. I don't care if they're based on a real person or loosely based on real events. They're not real at all. So get out of this mindset that, because things aren't the fantasy that you made up in your head, that things, because they're not that it's a problem and you would rather just live in that fantasy world. Well, okay, you know what I'm saying? You know what? You do what you want. You live in that fantasy world if you want to. But don't be upset. And I've said this to you before. I feel as though I've said this to other signs as well. But don't be upset to where, you're like, okay, just don't be upset and don't be surprised. All right. And that was just based off your first card, your next card. You got all reversals here. I'm just going to let you know right now. You got the Four of Cups in reverse. This is good, though. This is clarity and acceptance. So this is good to see that this energy is here. I do believe that after suffering so much else, to be honest with you, there's nothing left. Like I didn't I did the tower card is not here, but I'm getting like real tower vibes. And it could be a situation to where things are falling apart, but the tower isn't, like the tower is still up. It's just things inside that tower, like the inside that house, inside that building, whatever, right? Metaphorically speaking, things are tearing apart, but the tower is actually still intact. And this is good to see that, maybe it's a situation to where, not only is the tower still here, you know what I'm saying, but things are going on within the building might not be going well, but I'm starting to figure things out. Maybe it happens after you watch this, I don't know, but it just seems as though it's a situation to where it's like there is a lot of learning that needs to be done here, So keep that Four of Cups in reverse in mind. The next card is the Empress in reverse. This is insecurity. This is someone who can be too dependent on people, but this is also the card of stagnation. And I know Taurus is, again, y'all really savor the good. Y'all really are about just bringing abundance or having abundance just be showered onto you. Well, this is not the time for you to fall into the shadow sides of a Taurus. Too much in fantasy land. That's the Empress in reverse. You're not really doing anything to fix these problems. You're in financial debt. You've got problems within your relationships. I'm saying that because the next two cards, and I'll get to them when I get to them, but you got problems within your relationships. Definitely. You got financial problems from what we've seen with the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, you know? And if it fits, it fits. If it doesn't fit, don't make it fit. All right. You got all these things happening right now, and then all these things suck. Trust me, I know. They all suck. But again, being in fantasy land is not how you know, get these problems to not be a part of your reality. Continuing to go into your little cave, your escape mode, or whatever the case is, whenever things get hard in your little fantasy land, let me put it that way, whenever things get hard, that hasn't helped you in the past, it's not helping you now. All right. Next, you have the Three of Cups in reverse. This is overindulgent. This is someone who uh kind of separates themselves from the group. This isn't when the group separates you. That's the Three of Pentacles, I believe, or one of the Pentacles cards, right? This isn't that when you're excommunicated from the group. This is you excommunicating yourself from the group. Meaning you do have people in your life who can help you find the clarity. Again, as the Four of Cups in reverse is symbolic of. You have people who can help you find that clarity. You have people who obviously didn't excommunicate you. You separated yourself from them. What I would say is, for a bit of advice, is to just find solace in those people. Come together, you know, help have them if they're able to help you find clarity within this loss. Because I'm definitely seeing the separation. Like again, you got the Two of Wands in reverse, and you got the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Both deal when you really think about it. Again, when this is upright, this is like family, this is like abundance and all that stuff. You reverse that, and you got this. Yeah, this is definitely like a loss of like a partner or a loved one, and maybe someone you consider family or family, Now, I don't mean loss as in death, I mean like a separation, right? A breakup, for layman's terms, right? But again, going into fantasy land, and I'm not saying don't be upset. I'm not saying don't do things that's going to get you out of the emotional rut that from what we see here, you're clearly in because of this breakup. But be in reality about it. Feel those emotions. Confide in people who actually who are there for you, because you do have people. I think it's a situation where you separated from those people. Going back to the Three of Cups, you separated from those people. And now you're telling yourself, "I'm so alone." And when I go in my fantasy land, though, I'm not alone. I'm surrounded by all the Disney princesses. Yeah, they're not real. Once again, they are not real. That's number one. But you do have real life princesses and real people in your life in general, princes, princesses, whoever. But you do have real people, genuine people who are there for you. So confide in them and not in Elsa and whoever the fuck is a princess. All right? You know what I'm saying? I got to keep it real with y'all, you know? Your last card is the King of Cups in reverse. This is someone who's manipulative, someone who um, poorly guides people, and someone who is selfish as well. Do I gotta explain more? I mean, maybe that is the individual who led you astray and led you into this situation here. Or maybe you feel like you have to be that in order for you to get your get back or in order for you to protect yourself. I want to get into the yeah. Oh, Taurus. Yoda, we gonna get into the Oracle right now. See what the fuck they got to say to Taurus right now. Hopefully this is good. Hey, listen, I ain't trying to curse at y'all, but y'all, ooh, this one. One of your cards is slow climb. All right, it reminds me of slow grind. You know what I'm saying? You are getting there, one steady step at a time with a little bit of effort. So you just need and that reminds me again of that four of cups in reverse. It's like you're there, you're clarity. You're like there's clarity there. There's keep grinding, keep going. Again, with that three of cups, it's in reverse, but it doesn't mean that you can't flip this energy. The same goes to the other cards as well, you know? Confide in those folks who, again, are there for you, you know? Whatever reason why this individual left you, they had their reasons. You can't do anything about it. The Disney princesses you be going to confide to can't do anything about it because they're not real. Okay? You're dealing with a real life situation and you need real people in your corner. Anyways, that was one of your oracle cards. The other one is stand strong. You definitely need it after getting this message. With defense as your shield, find strength and perseverance, guarding what matters most. Yeah, that's what I have for you today. Quite the read here for Taurus, but hopefully this helps out a lot or some. Yeah, don't take the tone as anything other than me caring and wanting to give you a message and get you out of this funk that you're in. But yeah, Gemini would have been next, but we did Gemini. So we are on to Cancer right now. Um, with that being said, Cancer, since we are in Cancer season, you are eligible for the free birthday read if you have a birthday coming up. So, with that being said, and also, you know what? Well, no. I was gonna make some amendment, but nah, because I make this announcement all the time. At this point in time, if you don't know, you're not paying attention. I'm sorry. I'm just being real right now. But anyways, if you have a birthday coming up and you're a Cancer, um, get your free birthday personal read, shoot me an email. That's how you are able to book that. So we have your cards here, and we start off with the Chariot. This is for movement, willpower, ambition, success. Voice cracked. I was trying to sing that song. I shout out to anyone who got that reference. But um yeah, this is great to see. I like seeing this. You know what I'm saying? I like seeing this for you. Um I do see this is weird as well because the next card is the Two of Cups. This is nothing weird about it. This is a mutual attraction. This is coming together. But I feel like, you know, as soon as, and it sucks because it's like I kind of want to give you a hug right now, Cancer, because it looks like as soon as things start to look up within your relationship, things start to go sour. I mean, you have the Nine of Swords, and then you have the Three of Swords here. Like this is heartbreak, right? Both of these cards, heartbreak, heartbreak, and that's unfortunate. You know, I'm not being sarcastic or anything. Like that's really unfortunate to see that happening after this. And then of course, prior to this showing up, like you're gonna have success in a love life, but then it just shuts down. Universe, why are you telling? I mean, other than the fact that it's a message that you want Cancer to know right now, why else are you telling them this? So we got two more cards that jumped out. We have the Seven of Wands in reverse, and then you got another swords card. This time you got the Four Swords. All right, we're gonna deal with this one first. This is someone who is overwhelmed, which can happen after a breakup. Like you, that overwhelming feeling of failure, what happened, this, that, and the third. If this applies to you, it applies. If it's not applicable to you, don't make it. Like, yeah. But at least with that Four of Swords, this is the card of, someone who is mindful. This is mindfulness. This is relaxation. This is the card of introspection as well. This is what I do after a breakup. I be sleeping a lot. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, let me say after a breakup that I felt bad about. If it was a breakup that I felt, I mean, I still do sleep a lot, what I'm saying, after breakups, but if it's a situation where I was in like a heartbreak type of breakup where I got my heart broken, not the other person or whatever, right? Um, yeah, it's definitely a situation to where I am in bed a lot, thinking a lot, in silence a lot, alone a lot. You know, I am, overwhelmed a lot because life goes on, other responsibilities, but it's kind of hard to focus on those responsibilities when again your heart is broken. What I'm saying? This feels like your brain is also broken as well because you can't think, you know? Um like I said, that's how it relates to the full moon in Capricorn, though. I feel like this is pretty much about you taking control of. I feel like you were in a relationship with somebody and things went well, but then you gave them too much control over your happiness. I feel like, this had to happen. Unfortunately, this had to happen for you to realize that, you are in charge of your happiness. Now, that's not to say stay single forever. That's not to say that, other people, if you are in a relationship or you decide to get into another relationship, that they should not make you happy, that you should only focus on making yourself happy and they should only making them happy and all this other stuff. What I'm saying here is happiness should come from within, just like self-love. It's like love in general. Like you can love someone else, but if it doesn't come from you, like if you don't love yourself, you won't have love. You won't have love in your life because it can be taken away. Someone can give it to you and then decide they don't want to give you love anymore. Same thing with happiness, same thing with any other emotion, positive emotion or whatever emotion that you was getting from somebody else. Once they take that away, you no longer have that for yourself. Now it's really dependent on whether you want it or not, but I get the sense, Cancer, you want happiness. I get the sense you want love. Well, you're gonna have to stop depending on the other person you get in relationships with to give you all of that. You need to provide that for yourself and have their love be an addition, not a subtraction, but an addition to the love and happiness that you already have for yourself. That's as what the tarot goes. We're about to get into the oracle right now. Once again, I would like to remind you, and I haven't been reminding y'all, but I'm gonna remind you anyways to hit that like button, comment, share, subscribe. And also, if you would like a personal read, it's your birthday season. So as long as you got a birthday coming up in Cancer season, you are able to get that free read. So I shuffled, as you saw, and we got the same card that Taurus just got. You might have Taurus in your chart, but same position and everything. Slow climb. You're getting there one steady step at a time with a little bit of effort. So it could be a situation where you're getting over this breakup or you're getting to the point of controlling your own happiness, controlling your own love, which is great to see. So that's what I have for you, Cancer. We are on to Leo right now. Sun, moon, or rising. All right. How y'all doing, cousins? Hopefully y'all do. Oh, Leo season's up next, ain't it? Ooh, ooh, what y'all doing for y'all birthday? Could be too early to tell, or y'all. Yeah, I feel like y'all gonna turn up because y'all. Anyways, what message or messages do you have for Leo during this Capricorn full moon? What message or messages do you have for Leo during this Capricorn full moon? God, universe, angel, spirit team, especially of Leos. So another one with all reversals. All right. We'll try to see if we can pull more to see what's what. But we have let me try to cover this. I'm still gonna cover it. We have the sun in reverse, right? This is pessimism here. This is someone who lacks the confidence. And I feel like seeing based off of your other two cards, there definitely is a lack of confidence here. There definitely is a situation to where you're not living up to the status that, I feel as though you naturally exude. And it could be other external factors as to why I don't see a reason as to why you're lacking such confidence. You would know, you know. But we have the Emperor in reverse. You're supposed to be sitting like this, the Emperor. You're supposed to be like in the stable, practical, in charge, like. And again, with the sun in reverse, you're supposed to shine bright. You're supposed to be seen as this, and you're not. You're stopping yourself from seeing yourself as this. This is someone. It showed up like this. So again, the opposite of someone who is practical and disciplined, but that's very much like disorderly uh energy. And as I stated at the very beginning, before I started doing the reads and stuff, if you skipped ahead, I'm just going to do a quick reminder. The Capricorn full moon is symbolic of taking care of responsibilities, your responsibilities, but doing things your way and following your path. And when I say your responsibilities, it's what's going to take care of you, what's going to involve you. It could be a situation to where other people's responsibilities intertwine with yours. And I get that. You could be the person where you like to help other people out with their responsibilities. And I'm not saying don't be a selfless individual at this time, but this is really the time for you to follow and take control of your responsibilities, what you got going on. Um, so when I'm doing these reads, it's relative to what other message the universe has for you during this time in relation to, again, what I just said. Um, and it just seems as though, at least with these two cards, you have one more card here, or at least if I don't pull another one, you have one more card, tarot card. It seems like you're stopping yourself from being seen in this role, this leadership role, essentially. And again, there could be external factors, insecurity. It could be people in your ear telling you you're not meant for this role. It could be, well, anything, really. You would know if this is a fit for you. And I would only know if you were to comment below or if you were to book a personal read and let me know and all that stuff, right? Your last card is the Seven of Cups in reverse. This is someone who could be distracted, but also doesn't have a purpose. And I feel like it's not that you don't have a purpose. I think the sun being here, the emperor being here, although they're reversed like this, and even this card being here, uh, all of them in reverse, I still think it's a clear indication, though, that there is a purpose here. There is a purpose, but you're distracting yourself. You're allowing yourself to be distracted. Again, it could be a number of factors as to why you're not viewing yourself in the way that, this high leader position, right? This bright light. If I had to take a guess, though, based off of my personal experience, and again, I have three Leo placements, but based off of my personal experience, when I've been in this mode, it's because I lacked the confidence to fulfill the role, to fulfill the role, whether it was the emperor or whatever. I've never had a role that was literally called the emperor, but you get what I'm saying, right? Like, or hopefully you get what I'm saying, like to fulfill that role, to fulfill those shoes, right? I lacked the confidence and therefore I allowed myself to be distracted. These things still happen to this day, by the way. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that I've gotten totally under control, but it's gotten to the point where when I notice it, I can at least pinpoint it and make the proper steps to fight it. And it could be the same situation with you, Leo, where now that you know, or this is something that you've already knew about yourself, where there are times where it's time for you to step up or opportunity presents itself for you to fulfill a role. And then you get into this mode of distracting yourself from actually fulfilling said role, of being able to do the role effectively, right? Because you lack the confidence, right? You kind of like self-sabotage in a way to keep from getting that role, or to mess things up from you to get that role because again, you lack the self-confidence to fulfill said shoes. So if that resonates in any way, let me know. If it doesn't, I guess let me know as well. But that will be your read for today. The tarot, we're about to get into the oracle now. And your card today is Hidden Keys. Put things together piece by piece to reveal the bigger picture. I honestly think you know what the bigger picture is. I mean, we have that Seven of Cups once again. This when the Seven of Cups is in its righteous energy, that's wishes being fulfilled. That's someone who can envision something, and then of course, depending on the cards that come after or before it within the spread, those wishes action can be pointed toward those wishes, right? Can be done to make those wishes fulfilled. But I feel like I say all that just to say I feel as though you already have a picture in your mind of what you want. Again, you have these goals. That's why I was saying I don't think the purposelessness aspect of the Seven of Cups in reverse is applicable here for you. Because this is the spread here, the Sun, the Emperor, the Seven of Cups. It's very much purposeful. It's very much you know what you want. It's just they all came in reverse, so you're like afraid to go after what you want. And again, it could be due to a number of factors. I was just give you examples of when it happened to me that was the reason, security and all this self-doubt, all that stuff, right? That was a reason. It could be the same for you, but you know the reason as well. All right. So that's what I have for you, Leo, for today. All right. You already know what time it is. I got about 3 hours to do this, but like we're about to get into Virgo right now. So if you got Virgo in your chart, sun, moon, or rising, this is for you. Oh yeah. All right. All right. Yeah. About damn time. About damn time. These cards are looking lovely right here. We start off with the Hierophant. You already know. It's my favorite card in the entire tarot deck, whether it's like this or reverse, but it came like this. And we didn't have anything come in reverse, by the way. You know what I'm saying? But this is someone who follows their own moral path. Just like Capricorns, and I mentioned at the beginning, again, before I started doing the reads, Capricorn and Virgos kind of like this in the sense where we are both earth signs, so we're both very much grounded. We're not only just grounded individuals, personality wise, but we're grounded in just our routines, grounded in taking care of responsibilities. So this full moon actually is going to feel, I'm not going to say it is going to be like a Virgo full moon, but it's going to feel like, a Virgo full moon. But it's not, but it's just going to feel that way because of the similarities that we have with Capricorn that I just named. Some of the few similarities that we have with Caps, right? The fabulous Capricorns, as I like to call them, right? So it does just seem like this is just a continuation of us following our path, following our moral code, following our traditions, you know? Our next card is the Queen of Swords here. This is someone who sets boundaries. God, this is something I really need to continue doing and need to do more often if we're being honest. But yeah, this is definitely a moment in time where boundaries need to be set. I'm speaking about me personally. I don't know about any other Virgos. Let me know if you feeling this, right? But definitely setting boundaries and being clear-minded on those boundaries, right? And letting folks know, hey, this is what I'm going to accept. This is what I'm not going to accept. And if you don't like it, speak to the sword, motherfucker. Anyways, the last card is the High Priestess. Ooh, told you this is a great spread. It's probably like one of the best spreads I've got for Virgo. You know what I'm saying, during a live stream. Okay. But this is following someone who follows their intuition, essentially, you know. Um, and all these cards are just straight up confirmation. I can't wait to see what the Oracle card or cards are gonna say, but like this is just a pretty much confirmation. If you are a Virgo out there, like me, or just, a lot of us Virgos, it's really just continue following your path. Continue doing this, especially during this moon phase, Capricorn moon phase. All right. Full moon, by the way. Our card is Unity Blooms. Interesting. Foster harmony and connection within your community, nurturing bonds that bring us together. I do want to add to that whenever people talk about community and nurturing and coming together with people, listen, I'm all for that, but I'm all for it when it's people who actually feed into you, not people simply because you're around them. I don't think that, there are technically it is a community where, even if whether you grew up with these folks or whatever, you're still in the same community, but you don't have to stay in that community, not mentally, not physically, spiritually. If the community that you happen to be in physically and at the moment in time doesn't feed you, go find people who do feed you in every form that you want to be fed, you know? So I just wanted to put that out there because I know for a fact there are people within my life that make it. Yeah, I'm talking about myself. It's my sign. Yeah, this is the time for me to talk about myself. So, but anyways, there are people in my life who, try to make it seem as though I'm wrong because I've always wanted to branch out of the physical community that I'm a part of, or other communities I was a part of that I felt just did not feed me, that I just didn't feel like I was a part of. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's a situation where I had my own sense of way of thinking, doing, behaving, they had a whole different way. They wanted me to conform, and I said, fuck that, like their higher friend would say. Whether it's a situation to where, I had boundaries and they wanted to continue crossing said boundaries because they didn't have boundaries, or, our boundaries just was clashing. And I also said F that. You know what I'm saying? Well, there was a situation where my intuition was saying, hey, this ain't the group for you. No matter if you grew up with them, no matter if they're family, this ain't the group for you. And then my intuition was strong. And I kept telling myself I was wrong because everybody got to be around family. Everybody got to be around da 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 da, right? And folks were telling me I was wrong, but I was right. The intuition was right. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, I wanted to make that clear to any other Virgo going through that situation right now, in the past, and in the future even, you know? So, yeah, that's what I have for us today. Thanks for watching. All right, next we have Libra. You are up next to receive the message for the Capricorn full moon. And it's not, I said three of Pentacles. It's four of, well, kind of. I mentioned that in someone else's reading. I'm just talking out loud. Anyways, what's happening, Leo? Well, not Leo, Libra. You might have Leo in your chart, but you both begin with L. That's why. What's happening, Libra? Sorry for miss missing your name, but we here now. Anyways, we'll get into the Capricorn full moon uh reading, what it means for you. If you skipped ahead, you didn't watch the very beginning. Pretty much what the Capricorn full moon is symbolic of is everybody, not just for Capricorns, but everybody taking control of their responsibilities, taking care of their responsibilities, their life in general, doing things that they deem important, they are responsible for. You know what I'm saying? Capricorns are very much, all about structure, work, all that good stuff, right? So just, following that direction is what's advised of every sign to partake in. And we're going to see what other message or messages the universe has in store for you. So we start with the seven of swords here. A lot of sevens been showing up this read. Maybe I'm just noticing it, but we had three sevens already. 777. Either or. Uh Seven of swords in reverse though. Maybe you or someone else is coming clean about something. I do see, and I'm just going to say now, the Justice card does show up here. It's in reverse. We'll get there when we get there, but I feel like this has something to do with clearly an injustice. I feel, when you think of remorse and then you see justice, there's you think of an injustice occurred. Maybe it's got to do with money because you have money here. This is it's quite the read that we have here, but we'll continue. We have the world card. Got to cover it up because full breast is out. I don't got a problem with it. YouTube does, but this is wholeness. This is fulfillment, though. This is accomplishing something. This is a weird card. It's in the center of the read here, but it is a weird card to have between pretty much that seven of swords in reverse, and then you have the four of pentacles in reverse as well. Now I'm looking at, I feel like this could be a situation where you're apologizing to yourself. First of all, this is the card of being greedy, impulsive spending, possessiveness as well. Not like being conservative with money, but just being super possessive and greedy. I guess it's like that fine line between being a saver, like being a penny pincher, and just straight up being greedy and trying to get all the money as possible. It is the fine line because this is also again impulsive spending. So it's like you want more money just so you could go out and spend it, and you don't want more money for the aspect of saving money, you know? It's just weird still seeing how the world, maybe it's like again, it's a situation where you're apologizing to yourself for uh because again, like I said, justice in reverse, you know? I think it's a situation where, I think you're like apologizing to yourself for maybe your spending habits, maybe you're dishonest. There's some dishonesty that happened here. I mean, you got the justice in reverse, and then that seven of swords in reverse. So clearly some dishonest work or dishonesty was happening. I'm not trying to get you to incriminate yourself. I don't know about your situation. Um, but something unjustly happened here. And but it does seem like you are in this mode of like like this energy of wanting to rectify things. I'm out. I kind of want to pull one more card. I want one more card to come out, but universe, what else do you want Libra to know? Why is it showing? Okay, we did get one more card, but it doesn't really add much. You have the moon. And I say it doesn't add much because this is the card of unknown. This is the unknown, like we don't know what is next to come. Maybe it's a situation to where you did something. I'm still gonna stick with this because this one is the one that's coming to mind, right? I feel like you're trying to apologize to yourself for robbing yourself of maybe the world, whatever the world is symbolic of. And I think maybe it has to do with your overspending. Maybe you overspent so much and you you probably spent you was in this energy and you saved up a good chunk of money. You spent you not spent, but you saved up a good chunk of change, you know what I'm saying? To allow yourself to live a life that you probably wanted for the longest, you know, to give yourself the world. And you, for whatever reason, spent all that money. And now you can't give yourself the world. And then that moon shows up because it's like I can ask what happens next, but the universe is like, yeah, we don't know. It's all about Libra. And now that I'm looking at it, it's like, well, when you think about the Capricorn full moon once again, taking control of your responsibilities, taking control of your outcome. I think this message perfectly fits. It's like the universe is saying, Libra, this is up to you to fix. Now it's always like that, but this is definitely a message to where it's if you were able to build yourself to the point where you almost gave yourself the world, or you could have given yourself the world, you have the opportunity to fix this issue here, where you've essentially destroyed your world or whatever the case is. And I don't even want to say destroy your world or don't feel comfortable saying it because the world's still here. It showed up upright. Just it showed it. This is not reversed, by the way. It showed up upright. So it's still here, meaning you got the power to build it back up. And I think that's where the universe is it seems very reluctant to give you the answers with that moon card, or at least give me the answers to give you, because it's a situation to where it's like, Libra, you got this. Like, you know what to do. You got yourself to the point where you created this world for yourself. And you messed that up, but you can do it again. You could recreate the world and you can learn from this situation here. At least with that seven of swords energy. Again, feeling remorseful, learning from pretty much a messed up action, right? Pretty interesting read. I'd say out of all the reads I'm done so far with this long ass live, not really live, this is got to be the most interesting one. Very fitting, but very most interesting one. So that's what I have for you. We're going to get into the Oracle cards right now. Like, if you haven't hit that like, your first card is Ride the Current. Seems pretty fitting. What does it say? Embrace change, flow with the rhythm, and release resistance. Answers unfold in the dance of transition. Again, those answers that the moon is not revealing, you continue just going along with life and riding the current, as the card says, those answers will then start to reveal itself. All right. And your other oracle card is fulfill promises or fulfill promise. Stay committed to your path, for each step forward brings you closer to your destined fulfillment. Brings you closer to the world. Like I was saying, like the world is still present. I'm not gonna pick it up again, but the world is still present. It's upright because I feel as though you can recreate. You can build your money stack up, or build yourself back up to achieve that world again. Like, it's still obtainable. you know? Just keep that promise to yourself and keep on riding the current to get the answers that you're looking for. If you have not gotten anything answered from now, or, whenever you see this, all right? But yeah, Libra, keep going, man. This is a real interesting one. A real interesting read. That's what I have for the sign of Libra. What are y'all sending me messages for? All right. Anyway, after Libra, we got Scorpio. So if you got Scorpio in your chart, sun, moon, or rising, this is for you. What's happening, Scorpio? This is your Capricorn, full moon in Capricorn reading. And for those who just skipped ahead and didn't watch the beginning, a full moon in Capricorn is symbolic of following your responsibilities, be responsible for how things shape up in your life, and not allowing other people to control it. And yeah, that's exactly what this full moon is about. So, doing tarot reads for all of the signs today, as you can see, to see what other message or messages the universe has in store for you. Speaking of not allowing yourself to be controlled by others, we have the devil card, unfortunately, upright. All right. This showed up before. Forgot already who had this, but yeah, This is a card of, being controlled, essentially, either by addiction, someone else with ulterior motives, someone oppressive, even. And I see this situation here based on the other two cards that you got. I feel like two things could apply here. Number one, the devil can be symbolic of somebody who is overworking you for their own gain. It could be a situation where someone notices you at work. They notice that you are, uh, they notice something magical about you. And I use that term very purposely. I'll get to why. But they notice something magical about you. And they, instead of encouraging that, magician like energy, they exploit it for their own personal gain. That could be one of the meanings of the cards you have here. The other one, the devil could be, when I say you, I mean like just your inner critic. It could be your inner critic telling you to overwork yourself to ways that is unhealthy, that can cause burnout and things of that nature, because that inner critic is an MFer, right? I would know. Your next card is the Ten of Wands. This is why I said, this, you're being overworked either way, whether that devil is the inner critic, whether that devil is your boss or supervisor. It could be a situation where it's both. It could be a situation to where you're allowing your boss to do this to you, to overwork you, to cause you to burn out, because your inner critic is also telling you you need to go above and beyond, you know? Ultimately, whether it's your boss or your inner critic, what they're not seeing here is the magician. Now, it showed up in reverse, but that does not mean that there's not something that is that isn't magical about you. This is why I was saying, like, someone notices there's something magnificent about you, and they're using it to their advantage. Now, if it's your inner critic, you can still use yourself to your advantage, but obviously be kind to yourself, rest when you need to, and live up to your full potential. Don't let that inner critic tell you you're being lazy when you're resting, when you're just giving yourself the opportunity to recharge so you can continue the magnificent work that you're doing for yourself or whatever the case is. That's what I see here. If it's a situation where it's someone outside of you that again is exploiting you, exploiting that uh magical side of you. Um Hopefully you notice it now. Hopefully you notice it. Hopefully you are able to get out of that situation in the most creative way possible. Be determined to not be in a space where someone has that type of control over you. But yeah, as far as it relates to the Capricorn full moon, I think it's real simple. Like you, whether it's a individual or whether it's yourself, again, your lower self or your critic, right? Control your perception of yourself. Control how, you're going to use your magic prowess or powers. Control how you're going to do that. You are responsible for that. Don't allow someone else or again that inner critic to determine your value and how you're going to use your own magic. So that's what I have for the tarot. We're about to get into the oracle right now. As I'm shuffling, I would like to remind you to please hit that like button, comment, share, and subscribe. Okay. Now you got two cards. You got two cards. The first card is Roots. What's it? Roots of Stability. All right. Ground yourself in what nurtures your being. Establish a stable base from which love and career can bloom. Definitely with the whole career thing again, like I said, and then maybe that devil is someone else outside of work, or again, it could be both. Because when we're bringing up career, you're bringing up a job, you're bringing up again someone who notices something within you and they want to exploit that. Whereas with this, it's like, nah, don't allow them to do that. You know, you are definitely a hard worker. You're definitely someone that is, um, you make magic, for lack of a better word. You make magic. You make magic happen. But make sure you're doing that for yourself. Even if you do got a job, that's great. Do it for your job, take care of the responsibilities, but it feels as though there is something that you want more than just to be the magic employee. So do that for yourself as well. That was your first oracle card. The other one is Metamorphosis Mirage. Say that a million times. Embrace the tender transition between past forms and future possibilities as illuminated by the transformative butterfly. I remember reading it, so I was like, but it ain't no butterfly. Recently, when I got this card for somebody, it might have been you. That would have been crazy if it was Cap. Well, not Cap. Scorpio. I'm sorry. Anyways, this has been your read. All right. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you as always. Uh yeah, next we have Sagittarius coming down to the wire McGuire. All right. So, Sagittarius, this is your full moon and Capricorn read. We'll see what else does the universe have in store for you. I need to be taking a sip of water. What am I doing? I have a whole full water bottle here, and that thing should have been half empty at this moment in time. But we have your cards here. They slid out. So before though, this water should have been like down here by now. You know what I'm saying? So a little less than half. But what the hell does puddle come from? There better not be a hole in my shit. I'm sorry, y'all. This is like behind the scenes stuff. I'm gonna move this laptop a little bit over here because Lord knows I ain't got the time or money to be spending on water damage and shit. Anyways, we start with the death card. All right. Don't get do you got a great read here, by the way, including this card. And yes, including this card. You have a great spread over here. This is new beginnings. Do not be afraid of the death card. Do not be afraid. And the crazy thing is, in the death card, that dead body is the king, by the way. I believe it's weird, but I forget which king it is. I don't know if it's the King of Swords, but it's one of the king cards. The irony is you have the King of Swords that comes right after this. Nonetheless, you have a king that comes after a king dies, right? Um, yeah. Anyways, yeah, I'm sorry, I was looking at the card. Um, but this again, this is new beginnings. This is a new beginning here, and I like this. I like this for you. I like just this energy in general. I never fear the death card when it's upright. It's a good thing to me. And as I said, you have the King of Swords right next. That is discipline. This is integrity. I feel as though you're just shifting into a newer. a newer you. Like you're really tapping into this energy, this Capricorn full moon energy, and you're really going to be the type of leader or just type of individual that you've either always wanted to be or just like, you're like, I this is what, how I'm supposed to be. Like I said, I enjoy your spread. We got two more cards. We'll continue, but the next one is the Ace of Wands. Someone who takes the initiative, someone who is very much creative as well. And again, I feel as though you're really like creating a new you. You're really creating just like a new version of yourself during this full moon, which is very inspiring to see, you know? Okay. Okay, this water shit is getting weird. I hope I don't got a fucking it this water situation getting weird, y'all. I'm just saying the spillage. Hopefully there's no hole in my I'm getting distracted here. Anyways, your last card is the strength card. Having the courage, the strength, really pretty much to go forward. Again, do what you want to do. Be the person you want to be. Express yourself without worrying about uh the judgment of others, you know? And I really like that. I really like that for you. I'm gonna have to pause this, but this Sagittarius, this is great. This is great for you. Um, I don't know what else to say. We'll get into the Oracle, and then good thing I'm not doing this live now, so I can clean up this mess and see what the F is going on here. But yeah, try to say nothing want to jump out. Okay. Okay, you got this. You got saving grace. All right. Forgiving yourself and others heals the wounded and sets you free. Interesting. Is this like new you? Does it have to do with something of the past? I mean, I think obviously it does have to do with something of the past, but I'm asking like, does it have to do with a situation to where maybe you felt like you betrayed yourself or maybe betrayed other people? Um, and you are reinventing yourself too. Because I can tell you right now, all these the King of Swords, the Ace of Wands, the Strength cards, these are very much high vibrational personality traits, very noble personality traits as well. And I feel as though that you are reinventing yourself to fit these personality traits. Maybe you were the opposite. Maybe you just not maybe not the total opposite, but maybe you were not being the best self that you probably wish that you weren't portraying yourself the way that you would want to portray yourself. And instead of making excuses like a lot of people would make, you have made the decision to make that change, which, kudos to you, Sagittarius, because not a lot of people do that. A lot of people, when they change for the worse. Not a lot of people these days change for the better. So I want to give you that shout out for real. But I'm gonna pause this real quick so I could clean up this mess. Then we'll get into the rest of the signs. Right, so we are back. Mess is cleaned up. I don't think it's anything crazy, but I don't know. But anyways, we are on to Capricorn. Ooh, fabulous. To the fabulous Capricorns, we are here. This is your full moon going on right now. And yeah, as I was saying, maybe you skipped ahead, but the Capricorn full moon, if you don't know what it means, it's pretty much following your responsibilities, being responsible for how you want things to shape up in your life, being very much action oriented, very much, yeah, just following the path, being you essentially. This full moon is going to heighten that within yourself. but expose where it may be lacking as well, not just within yourself, but with other signs, the other signs within the zodiac sign here. So I'm doing reads to pretty much see what other messages that the universe may have for us today as a collective. All right. All right. So we start with the tower in reverse. It's someone who resistance of change. You know, we just did Sagittarius that had death, and death in the tower, pretty much change happening, right? But with the death card, you know, at least with them, they had the death upright, so they're not resisting said change. They welcomed it. Whereas with you, Capricorn, it seems as though there's some change that you're resisting, you know, stalling change that needs to happen. You know, your next card is the Page of Swords upright. Um, you know, this is weird to see this. I mean, this is the card of someone who likes being surprised. You know, someone who is very much curious as well. And I say it's only weird to see that because it comes right after the tower. Maybe you are being more, this is the like the little glimmer here within this read that is inspiring you to let that tower fall, to allow things to allow yourself to accept the change that is needed to happen. Because the tower is in reverse, you know what I'm saying? The tower here, it's here for a reason. Something needs to change. It's just you're not trying to be accepting of that. But again, the Page of Cups is someone who is very much accepting of being surprised. So again, that could be like a small glimmer of hope. We'll get into the rest of the cards here. We have the Seven of Cups in reverse. All right. Um, this is distractions. This is purposelessness as well. This is someone who can, uh, excuse me, someone who also suffers from like decision paralysis. Now, I think maybe part of why you're not allowing things to change, I feel like part of why you're not allowing things to change is because there's a part of you, Capricorn, that's saying like if I allow things to change, then whatever I want for myself or whatever dreams I might have to change my dreams. Is it a situation to where you're like you're on the path, you're doing something, an activity, you're on the path or whatever the case is, and like you've been doing it for some time, and you're like, well, if I change now, then I'm just gonna have to change my entire trajectory, my entire path. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that is true. And even if it is true, I think that Page of Cups here is here to remind you that you might surprise yourself. You might be surprised with what is next to come. Like you might end up liking what is next to come, even if it's a situation to where, you know, you have to give up on a dream, right? There are times where you just have to give up on something, you know? And it seems as though this message here will get to your last card, but I'm really, from what I'm seeing, I'm getting a message of there's something you need to give up on, but you don't need to give up on hope. Hope is not that thing you need to give up. When I say hope, I mean hope that you are going to find something that is call that you're going to find something else that is, you know, fitting for you. You know, again, you have the Page of Cups here, and that to me is like some hope that you will find something else that you might end up enjoying. The last card is the Knight of Swords in reverse. This is someone who is aggressive, impulsive, but also um lacks direction. And I think that the reason why you might need to give up on whatever this thing is because you've been coasting for the entire time, however long you've been doing this thing without direction. And maybe it's a situation where it's too you're too far gone. It's a too far gone situation where you've dug yourself in so much of a big hole to the point where it's going to be, I don't ever want to say things are impossible, but it's going to be damn near impossible for you to even dig yourself out of this hole. But now that you're here, maybe there's something else that you can discover, you know? Metaphorical hole, man. If you are in the physical hole, get your ass up out of here some way, somehow. Call for help. I don't know. I don't know how you watching this video if you're in the hole. If there's Wi-Fi in that hole, that means you have the means to call someone to get you out of that hole, or contact someone to get you out of that hole. Just saying. But yeah, I feel like this is a too far gone situation, and you just need to allow yourself to say, okay, it's I don't want to say like, and when I say it's a failure, I mean like you're not, if I'm not calling you a failure, but this situation, you and this activity or you and this whatever, it's just not going to happen. You know? It's just not meant to be, maybe. I feel more comfortable saying that. It's just not meant to be. But whatever is next, if I could pick this dang card up, whatever is next could pleasantly surprise you. You know? So just keep an open mind when it comes to that. All right. Um, that's what I have as far as the tarot goes. We're about to get into the oracle right now. I would like to remind you to please hit that like, comment, share, and subscribe if you have it. And you have two oracle cards. So your first one is Veil of Illusion. Lift the veils of illusion, seeking truth beneath the surface to navigate through love and career authentically. All right. Your second card is a Valley of Shadows. Step into the enveloping Valley of Shadows. Here, fears are faced, the courage is forged in dimly lit paths. So it's all about really like with these two cards, I see like you just need to, it's all about trusting yourself. And again, like whatever this thing is that you're like I'm saying too far gone in, um, maybe a big part of why you are in this mode of not letting it go is because you're like, this is all I know. This is all I can do. Even though you're not, doesn't keep it real with you, fabulous, like Capricorns, yeah. You're not doing a good job at it, but it's all you know because it's all you've done. And instead of trusting yourself to be able to do something or find something that you're either better at or find something new in general to give a different, uh just give it different try. Give it try to and see how that is, right? So that's what it is for you, my fabulous Capricorns, with your fabulous full moon. Oh, right. We are down to the last two. We are at Aquarius right now. So, to my high risers, what is happening? My Aquarius, sun, moon, or rising signs. All right. If you would like a personal read, shoot me an email. You can find that in the description box below. Here is your full moon in Capricorn reading. If you just skipped ahead and you don't know what the full moon in Capricorn is symbolic of, it is symbolic of following your path, right? Following your structure. Now, upon my research, I'm paraphrasing these words. They weren't necessarily my thoughts, but I'm paraphrasing these words. You and Capricorn don't get along. I'm not instigating. I'm just saying Capricorn love structure. You all do not. I know that for a fact that you all don't love structure. So this full moon is going to clash with your rebellious ways and the structural, if that's even a word, the structural side of a Capricorn. All right, but we got your cards here. Let's see what it do. We have the Knight of Cups. This is charm, romance, someone who uh can very much sway the public, sway people into to they can get what they want. They can use their charm to get what they want. You know what I'm saying? Um it's not player attitude. It's more so like you are like you're just maybe it's like expressing a personality trait of yours. Like maybe you're very charismatic and very funny, right? And you're expressing more of that to, let's just say, around a group of people, whatever the case is, to get something you want. Maybe there's a side of you that could be very flirty. You know what I'm saying? And you're expressing that. Again, not to play with people's hearts, but to, make people feel good, feel a certain way, and feel, all chummy and shit. So they give you things. You know what I'm saying? You know? But this is the card that I was struggling with earlier. When I say struggling with, I brought this up. I was referencing this card earlier, and then it showed up when I was shuffling, but it didn't show up for anyone's read till now. The Five of Pentacles, not the Three of Pentacles, although they're kind of similar in a way. Well, at least reverse. It's almost in this vein, but this is the card I was referencing earlier, essentially, right? When I said Three of Pentacles, I meant this Five of Pentacles. This is someone who is outcasted, you know? And I think you're outcasted by Capricorns, but nah, I'm not trying to start shit between y'all. But um I think that, you being your charming self, you being in that Knight of Cups energy has rubbed some folks the wrong way. You know, you have a way of doing things, and they have a way of doing things as well. Whether these people might be Capricorns or not, I don't know, but you have a way of doing things, and your way of doing things does not mesh well with the people who not you're the outcasted folk here, but it doesn't mesh well with the people who outcasted you. But I don't see that being a big issue for you anyways. I don't think this was a group that you really wanted to be a part of. I know these two individuals here look hurt, battered, and like all types of fucked up. But you're like, I don't think you really care that much. You know what I'm saying? You're not hurt or battered by any of it at all. You have the Ace of Swords, clarity minded, new ideas, breakthroughs. It could be a situation to where when I say you're not hurt, I don't mean like, one, I don't mean physically. I don't think you're physically hurt by it, but I also think that, you are, you're like, man, fuck y'all, but you're not like hell bent on letting them know every day of their life that you don't fuck with them. It's more so of a fuck you, I'm gonna do my own thing. And I think that's good. Like personally speaking, and I know again, like I was saying, upon doing research, it doesn't seem as though Capricorns and Aquariuses tend to mesh well. Not saying that it's impossible, but I'm just saying that the very you got to do it this way side of Capricorns really doesn't mesh with I'm gonna do it the way I want to side of an Aquarius. And Aquarius is when they're hell bent on doing something their way, they're doing it that way. Same with Capricorns though. They're like you got to follow by the book, whether they made the rules of the book or whatever the case is. It's like if it's got to be done this way, it's got to be done this way. And again, you're like, no, I mean, it doesn't. I'm not doing it that way. You know what I'm saying? So either or, I think both are great. Like I don't want to make it seem as though that I'm pitting you and Cap against one another. Um, what I do want to say here is like I feel like if there are moments where you can learn from a more structured way of doing things, why not? Why not if it's going to benefit you? You know, don't be rebellious for the sake of just being a contrarian, just being rebellious, because that is a shadow side of y'all. Love y'all, but that is Aquarius. You know, just being that for the sake of being on the total opposite side. And, you know, nobody likes a contrarian. Hell, nobody likes people who are deemed contrarians, but are not really contrarians, but they're just people who are who are not afraid to express a difference of opinions. I know because I'm speaking from experience. People have called me a contrarian. Yes, I'm talking about myself because, well, rising sign. You got a bunch of cards. You got it. It's the most oracle cards I've ever seen in my life in a reading, though. Not clearly these are the most cards I've seen a whole damn stack, but we're gonna read all of them. Damn it, I don't care. You got well, there's only one more sign after you, anyways, and it's about to be 5 o'clock, which means I have 2 hours to spare right after I do that read, or right after I do Pisces. But as I'll say, right, I know for a fact that people would, people have called me a contrarian because I have a genuine difference of opinion about something that the masses may, have an opinion on. Now, you could say I'm being pretentious. I don't give a fuckity damn. I don't give a shitty fuckity damn. A lot of them people that call me a contrarian don't even think for themselves. The only reason why they said that is because they go based off of how other people feel. So for you to call someone a contrarian, it's not to say there aren't contrarians out there, but if you're someone who can't even think for yourself, don't even. Don't even. And contrarians are, like I said, nobody likes contrarians. I don't like contrarians. But they can at least tell the difference between the popular opinion and the unpopular opinion. They're just a troll that goes against the popular opinion. Whereas you being the people who call me a contrarian, yeah, I'm talking to you, nigga. Like, as you would call me or Aquarius or anybody else that, and you following everybody else. Shut up. Anyways, we'll get into one of your 100 Oracle cards. You got four, but I'm being dramatic. No, you got five. And I'm not being dramatic. You actually do got five. All right. Your first one is divine timing. Be patient, for some things take time to manifest fully in your life. Pretty self explanatory. Not going to go further. Your next one is adapt to transformation. Embrace change with open arms, for it is the catalyst for your evolution and growth. All right. Third, open doors. It's a lot of growth happening for you, Aquarius. So keep doing your thing. You have many options. So take your time to choose what's right. Exactly. Following you, despite what anyone might have to say. Almost there. Yo, your cards are like, I'm laughing because your cards are like, wow. Persist with faith, for you are on the brink of a breakthrough. Your efforts are about to bear fruit. Clearly, Aquarius knows what they're doing, so Capricorn, you need to ease up. I'm just saying. And anyone who's getting all upset at Aquarius, y'all need to ease up. Clearly, they know what they're doing. We got one more card. Ignite ambition. Pursue desires with drive and face consequences bravely. Keep an open mind as answers reveal your journey. Such a great read for Aquarius. You know what I'm saying? Before I said Libra had the most interesting read. Nah, y'all got the most interesting read. That's right. Libra, y'all done got taken out by the most beautiful sign in the zodiac sign. It is what it is. All right. Take the L, Libra. I'm just joking. Anyways, we're on to the last, but not least, my spicy fishes. And yes, I ain't come up with another nickname for y'all. The Pisces. Got Pisces in your chart, sun, moon, or rising. This is for you. This is your Capricorn full moon reading. What does that even mean? Well, you clearly wasn't around at the beginning of the video. That's all right. I got the timestamps down there for a reason. I appreciate you watching anyway. So the Capricorn full moon is pretty much, you got a bunch of cards here, so I'm gonna have to space these out. The Capricorn full moon is symbolic of following, taking care of your your responsibilities, but actually doing things your way. You know, um, Capricorn is about following a structure, you know, and they're very much action oriented, very much responsibility oriented folk. So, just tapping into that energy as well as getting whatever other messages that the universe has in store for us today. That is what I'm doing here. That is what I'm about to do for you. So, your first card is the Lovers, though. Ooh, gotta love seeing this card. You know what I'm saying? So, um, I mean, damn it, You and Cancer started off on a high note when it comes to love, and then some other card shows up that's like, I don't know. This is love harmony and stuff, but we'll get to that other card that's kind of worrying about your love life. But at least you get money. You know what I'm saying? At least you're Seven of Pentacles. Patience, perseverance, future investment, something is growing here. And it does seem as though that you are looking to grow something. Maybe it's goals. Maybe it's a situation to where you have a goal and you found someone, but then things don't work out because they might have, when you think about the Seven of Pentacles, it's slow growth. You might be with somebody who is trying to rush the process, and that causes friction between you and them. To me, it looks like you made the right choice and sticking to your guns and sticking to this investment, and investing in yourself or this idea, whatever you're trying to grow. Personally speaking, I think it's a good idea. Your next card is the Page of Wands. This is exploration, enthusiasm, and extroversion. I call it the 3E. All right. Um, oh yeah. I mean, what else is there that needs to be said? I think um this is kind of why I said you choosing you. Like you feeling confident that you made the right decision and choosing to stick with this investment idea or to invest in. And when I say invest in, it could be money, it could be time, however it fits, right? But you choosing to stick with the investment, and I think that's a great idea. You know, now you have the Four of Wands, and just like I was saying with Cancer, you might have Cancer in your chart. Their reading started off real well. They had the Chariot, and then they had the Two of Cups, but then this showed up. You know what I'm saying? Yours started off with the Lovers, pretty much the same energy of Two of Cups, but a more advanced version where it's like I feel the Lovers card is like the Two of Cups is two people coming together and they're like, I like you too. Let's get together. Boom. The lovers, it's like, oh, we've been in this, you know what I'm saying, for several months now, maybe several years now. You know, we've been in this. We're here. We're not in this I like you, boom, stage anymore. But of course, this is breaking up. This is, um, instability, you know? Now, I will say that I don't want to, let me say this. I don't, and just, I should have said this for Cancer. Cancer, if you're still watching, whatever, great. Listen to this part too. I don't want to assume a breakup is going to happen. I know I'm no fortune teller over here. We don't do predictive astrology, none of that. I just read the cards and I'm going, and I give you the best message that I feel is what's needed to be said based off of the cards that you get. And then, of course, whatever the oracle card is, I read them for the reason and then give you that message, right? So I don't want to say that there is going to be a breakup if you're in a relationship with somebody. What I will say is, based off of what the card is saying, is that there could be some friction happening, a possible breakup, but friction happening. How it relates to what I've been seeing, so what I've seen, read so far, is again, it seems as though you have an idea of how to do things with this investment idea. And maybe you have a partner who's not supportive of that. And that causes a potential breakup or just friction in general within your relationship. You have the Two of Wands coming right after the Four of Wands in reverse. This is also in reverse. Um, this is someone who is very short-sighted. I don't think this is you because I'm seeing a bunch of, like I said, with that the Page of Wands, with the Seven of Pentacles, and then your last card is the Ace of Cups. That all three of those cards is very much patient, very much loving energy. Nothing short-sighted about it. Nothing fearful about said energy. Whereas this could have been your partner, someone who is very much short-sighted about again this investment, short-sighted, feared the unknown. What if this happened? What if that happened? Very much, negative. Very much in that. That could have been your partner, you know? I feel as though that's their energy based off of the other cards I'm seeing here. And again, as I've stated before, the Ace of Cups. This is a new love and a compassion for something as well. So it's like within this situation here where it may seem as though you and this individual break up. When I say a new love, again, the Ace of Cups is not a love of a person. That's what the Lover's card is. This is a love of a thing, love of a material, love of an action. So again, you're giving the example of investing. Maybe you just love investing your time or your energy into, whatever you're investing in. That's where this new love is. So, and honestly, I'm gonna say keep going with it. Not to be on some money over bitches type shit, but it just seems as though like it's leading you to a path that seems to be right for you. And that's not to say that your partner, if that's the case, won't come around to it. That's not to say that you won't find someone who will get you, who will accept you. But yeah. We have your oracle card here, and that would be it for everybody. Desert of Isolation is your oracle card. Traverse the desolate spaces of solitude to uncover reflections and resilient survival. So, I mean, again, not doing predictive astrology here or predictive tarot, not a psychic, but it does seem as though that you're alone here because it seems a separation did happen. But within this, you're able to finally reflect on where you want to go, where you want to be, who you want, what I'm saying? Things of that nature, all the questions that you might have. This is a time for you to actually be reflect to reflect on all of that, all of that. And yeah, it does says, um, I'll read it again. Traverse the desolate spaces of solitude to uncover reflections and resilient survival. So, with that being said, it's not like it's a separation that's going to kill you. It's not like it's a separation that, you're done, son. Like, no, like it's something that probably needed to happen for you to reflect and come out stronger and come out financially better, it seems. So, yeah, that's what I have for you, Pisces. And with that being said, that is the final zodiac sign for the Capricorn, full moon in Capricorn, tarot, or terror, if you were scared of some of the messages you got, readings, for again, for all the signs. Okay. Timestamps, pin comment. If you, for whatever reason, missed that, I will have that updated and everything. I'm working overtime and stuff to get this stuff done, but I got you. It is what it is. Um, Not a live stream, like I said at the beginning of the video here. And you can stop watching now. You probably already watched enough greatly. Just hit that like before you go anywhere now. Hit that like. And if you feel compelled, subscribe as well. But really, 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 really hit that like. You ain't got no choice but to hit the like. Anyways, so with that being said, I wanted to do a live stream, but I'm going to be busy this week. So there was no way I was going to be able to live stream on the 10th. So I'm going to have this pre-recorded as it is and then release the video on the 10th for everyone to get the message on the 10th and, practice whatever they feel they need to capitalize off the energy of the full moon in Capricorn. Okay. All right. I would like to thank you for trusting me for being your intuitive reader for today, or at least one of your intuitive readers for today. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until next time, until next video, y'all take care out there. Peace.